Hi, I'm Alex Howard and welcome to this video where we're going to be exploring the idea of what is chronic fatigue syndrome. I know that when I was first diagnosed, it was one of the most frightening and confusing experiences of my life. I'd been going to see my doctor for many months saying, I feel exhausted all the time. Fatigue wasn't my only symptom. I also had dizziness and muscle pains and headaches and sleep issues. It wasn't even my worst issue on some days, but it was sometimes the most confusing. But what was even more confusing was going to see the medical expert that I was longing to have the answers for me and say, I'm exhausted all the time, I'm chronically fatigued, and then for them to put the word syndrome on the end and act as though they'd given me the answer. The diagnosis was certainly not an answer. If anything, it was just more confusion. The burning question in me was, why? Why am I exhausted all of the time? You see, labels like chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, post-viral fatigue syndrome, adrenal fatigue, they are a label for a set of symptoms, not a diagnosis in the traditional sense. If, for example, we break our arm, the diagnosis of a broken arm is very clear. There is a break that we can see, and then we can help the body to heal and recover from that. The lack of a single identifiable biomarker in fatigue-related conditions has been the source of so much misunderstanding, because the perspective of traditional mainstream medicine has been, if we can't find what's wrong with you, there must be nothing wrong with you. Which, by the way, it's the highest level of arrogance. It's the assumption that mainstream medicine knows everything there'll ever be to know about the human body. Sometimes it also goes to, we don't know the answer, therefore nobody knows the answer. Again, it's the highest level of arrogance. The reality is that there are many different factors that influence the experience of fatigue. Factors such as our genetics, factors such as the different experiences that we've been through in our lives, different viral loads we may have been exposed to, like mold, Lyme disease, things like that. Different personality patterns, ways we may relate to ourselves, to other people, to the world around us. Those personality patterns certainly don't cause fatigue, but they can certainly have an impact on how we may respond to it. So there's not one single cause of fatigue. There are many causes, but that also means there are many paths to healing, many paths to recovery. Really, the secret is we need to decode. We need to see your fatigue like being a puzzle with different pieces and elements happening in different ways at different times. We need to be able to decode your fatigue. If we can have an accurate diagnosis of the different bodily systems affected, the different stages of the recovery process you might be, the different subtypes of different ways things are being affected in your body, if we can have that accurate diagnosis, we can create an effective path to your recovery. Having spent 7 years on my own journey to recover from chronic fatigue, along the way I made the commitment to myself that if I found a way out, I would dedicate my life to helping people in the same situation. And for nearly 20 years now, that's what I've been doing. I lead the Optimal Health Clinic, one of the world's leading integrative medicine clinics, with a team of 25 full-time practitioners working with patients in over 50 countries around the world, having worked with tens of thousands of patients with fatigue-related conditions. I like to think we've learned a few things along the way, and if you'd like to discover how the map we've created may apply to your own healing journey, please do sign up for this completely free 5-day Decode Your Fatigue Challenge. And let's together decode your fatigue and map your path to recovery. I hope you'll join me.